Hey everyone, welcome to my pool. I'm Eric Knight with Orenda, and one of the big questions that we get from our customers is the first time they use the Orenda Start Up Barrel, how do you assemble it? Now, pre-COVID, we used to actually include a fittings kit, but it's pretty hard to get those parts now. And since we're selling so many of the barrels, thank you by the way, we don't include the fittings anymore. Some of them are pretty easy to get. And the vast majority of this stuff, most pool pros are already gonna have. They're gonna either have it in their truck or in their stockpile at their office or home. So we're just gonna show you a few ways that you can assemble it. It's pretty easy, shouldn't take you too long. So come on over here and let me show you the basic things that you're going to need. Now, these things are not included with the kit, except this is the lid that goes with the barrel. So I went to the hardware store, I spent a total of less than $20, but I got extra stuff that we may not need. One of these is a 1-inch pipe. A 1-inch pipe is actually going to fit inside the barrel and it's going to direct water down to the bottom so it mixes things up. And we'll come back to this in a moment. I'm just going to move it out of the way for now. At the bottom of the barrel, we used to include a threaded male plug, and we would just plug it, and then when you had to drain it, you had to unscrew it and you needed the Teflon tape. And problem with that is it's a lot of work. And I actually ruined a pair of gloves doing that when I emptied it out on a truck startup, meaning there was a truck filling it and I needed to empty the water really fast, and it turned my glove almost into concrete. So what we recommend is we use an 1.5-inch ball valve. Now this one is threaded on the inside, female threaded both sides. It doesn't really matter which one you do, because if you do a slip, if you're a plumber like a pool pro, you can just use PVC cement and adapt it, but you're going to need something that's going to be male threaded. I couldn't find one at the hardware store, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this 1.5-inch male to male coupling, and this is going to thread into that, but it's also going to thread into that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the bottom of the barrel is protected. You're going to need some Teflon tape. Every pool pro should have it. So we're going to go this way for where it threads into the barrel. And then we're going to break it apart, because if I went the same orientation the other way, when you screw it in, it would actually loosen the tape. So we're going to turn it around and go the exact same way to finish. I'm sure plumbers are looking at me, scratching their heads like, who is this guy? Plumbers who do this a lot are a lot better than I am. Okay, now that we have the Teflon tape, we're going to put that inside the ball valve. Okay, that's nice and snug. We're going to take this and we're going to put it into the bottom. So I'm going to lift this barrel up onto this. Now this is really nice, because at the end of a fill, you used to have to unplug a thread, and you sometimes needed a pair of channel locks to do that. With this, I could just easily open and close this valve. This makes it really easy, not only for startups, but what our customers have discovered about this barrel is awesome for spring openings. It's great for winterizations, because you don't just need to do this on startups. If I have to add a bunch of calcium or a bunch of other chemicals to open or close a pool, it's very easy to do this, especially on the post-fill startup, which we nickname the switcheroo. What happens if the plasterer doesn't call you until it's too late? You don't have a choice. You can't start it up with the vacuum hose and do the original Orenda startup. You have to wait till the pool is full. So what do you do to a full pool? You open this up with your chemicals in it, you dump it all in at once, you brush it, and you should be good to go and get your startup back on track. This is a very, very wise investment if you're getting a startup barrel. 1.5-inch ball valve. Next, we need to connect how the water is going to come into the barrel. The general concept is water is going to come in here through the hose. It's going to fill up the barrel where you mix in your calcium chloride, your SC1000, and sometimes acid. And you need a way to get that water in. Well, this is a 1-inch female thread. So we have this 1-inch reducer bushing that goes down to a 3/4 inch, which is a standard hose size. So we're going to Teflon tape this, and we're going to put it in here. This one should be extra tight because this fitting will never move. So I'm going to take my pair of channel locks, and I'm going to make sure that I get this extra tight. Make that nice and snug. Okay, now that this is in place, the next step is to put this brass 3/4 inch hose spigot. But this 3/4 inch hose spigot alone cannot receive a garden hose from the house. So there's two ways you can handle this. You could provide your own hose, which we do recommend certainly to get into the pool, but you could also provide, say, an 8 to 12 foot section of your own hose that you can store in the barrel as you travel with it. And you can have one that connects to your barrel as well, so that you just connect the homeowner's hose to that hose to get into the barrel. It's whatever you want to do. Some people will even attach a Y splitter to this to allow for different water flow. There's so many different configurations. Just call us at Orenda and ask us, or shoot us an email. We're happy to walk you through it. Just let us know your situation. So here we have a rubber gasket inside a female to female hose coupling. So I'm going to Teflon tape this really quick. Even though I don't necessarily have to because of the gasket, it's best practice. I do not want this thing spilling. So then we're going to put this on and get that nice and snug so that that rubber gasket in there is pressed up against it. Now we're going to Teflon tape this and put it in here because the hose is going to receive into this and it's going to feed water through the spigot, which technically is backwards. These usually have water going this way, but it doesn't matter. And now we're going to screw this into that fitting, if it will catch. There we go. And I understand a lot of this is self-explanatory to pool pros, but you'd be surprised how many questions we get. So now that that's in here, we now have the way that water is going to get in. Now let's come over to here and figure out how is water going to get out. Now I showed you a few options of barbed fittings. These were available to purchase at a hardware store. If that's all that you have, that you could do this. You can also go to a pool distributor and get something like this. The challenge with this is made for a swimming pool. All of these will fit the hose vacuum. The challenge with this is how do you get it to aim down? I could just thread this directly, and theoretically, I could leave it here and then clamp the vacuum hose on it, but then I've got the hose coming down and you have that 90. So sometimes we prefer to have a 90. You can also sometimes find a 90-degree barbed fitting. That's the ideal. If you can get that piece, that would work the best. But we're gonna make this work. And if you have the ability to do plumbing, you can do this sort of slip. And what we did here was we allowed a few fittings. We're not going to assemble this today because we don't have the PVC cement, but if you're a pool pro, you probably do. You can fit this together, and then you can fit this all like that, and now you have a 90-degree fit that you can just put in your barbed fitting. It's completely up to you how you make this work. For now, all we're going to do is we're going to install this one just to demonstrate. So I'm going to take my Teflon tape. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you. Glad to help. We're going to get this in here. A pair of channel locks. All right, now that this is here, you'll see that this connects to a standard vacuum hose. This vacuum hose, will put a 2-inch hose clamp on it, and then we'll fit this over there and we'll tighten it down with a Phillips head screwdriver. I have personally made the mistake of doing this without a 2-inch hose clamp, and the hose came off. It was not a good day. Now the final step here for assembly is going to be this 90-degree and 1-inch PVC pipe that are going to go down here. So come on over here and look on the inside. I'm not going to glue this because if I glued this, I wouldn't be able to turn it. And I have to thread this in first. So this piece is not going to be glued. It's just going to sit in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this on the inside, and then we're going to tuck this piece up into it. So I will first Teflon tape it. And we'll thread that in. Just like that. Now we'll take this piece and fit it right under. I should note that this piece is an optional piece. It does help though, because when we put calcium down there at the bottom, this directs the water all the way to the bottom. It really helps stir it up and it helps mix things a lot faster. And that's pretty much it. You've got your spigot that goes to a reducer to get in. You've got your 90-degree that directs water down. You got an 1.5-inch ball valve. However you want to configure this, you really have a lot of options. We're just showing you a way to do it. We do recommend, if you're doing a lot of startups, to have a 90-degree down. This could put some stress on the hose by having it come out, but for the purposes of one startup, it's just perfectly fine. Don't forget to use Teflon tape on these threaded fittings. Waterproofing is important. The thing about this barrel is it's not just used for startups, but when you're mixing calcium chloride, you need to be extra careful because calcium chloride gets really hot when you dissolve it. This barrel plastic is rated for 250 degrees Fahrenheit. For context, water boils at 212 degrees. This can handle the heat. Trash cans usually cannot. So look at that trash can across if you want, that brute one, that gray one. We have seen people try to do this startup in trash cans like that, and we had a customer do that and it melted on the deck. It was a catastrophe. So it just can't handle the heat if you're doing a lot of calcium. I've already tested my tap water. Again, this is my pool, and I know that I've got 30 alkalinity, 40 calcium, and an 8.2 pH. In this barrel, I'm going to be putting in about 100 pounds of calcium in 30 gallons. This thing can handle it. So we're going to put about 100 pounds of calcium in here, and we're going to be using 2.5 quarts of SC1000. About a third of that's going to end up in here in the barrel. The rest of it's going to go into the pool. And then we're going to use 12 ounces of muriatic acid per quart of SC1000 to offset the pH. I'm going to be putting that in on top of the acid to reduce from an 8.2 pH in the total volume down to about a 7.6. That's how we're going to do this startup. And then once it's full and circulating, I'm going to add sodium bicarbonate to get that alkalinity up to about 60 to 70 parts per million, and I will be LSI balanced. I'm Eric Knight with Orenda. If you have any questions about assembling your startup barrel, visit our help center, ask.orendatech.com on the screen here. We have some help articles in there with step-by-step procedures. Thanks.